Hi, welcome to Being Micah and thanks for joining me for today's video all about working on your craft. I wanted to make this short video on working on your craft and the kind of things that you can do to work on your craft when you're maybe not in a project or you're in between projects or it's a quiet time, or even like me, if you're maybe taking a little bit of a break from classes for whatever reason and you still want to kind of keep yourself active and working on your craft to keep yourself ready so that when you do get an audition, you're actually good to go for it. You've not been doing nothing in that time in between. So today this video is going to be about working on your craft and the different things that you can do. It's not all based on just my thoughts or what I think. I'm using this, the ideas I'm getting from some of the studios that I've been to and the ideas that they've given, and also just by talking to some of my other actor friends as well about the kind of things that they do in between work, in between jobs, in between classes, when they still want to sort of keep themselves doing acting, and what kind of things they do to kind of work on it, sorry. So first I want to start with doing scenes. One of the ways that you can work on your craft when you're not involved in a project or you're not doing an audition or in between work in a quiet time is working on scenes. It can be scenes that you've got from online, it can be scenes that you've maybe got from plays that you've read or plays that you've done before, or even scenes that you've done from classes and previous classes that you've kind of done, or even looking at screenplays or whatever else it is. You can work on those scenes and work on the scene as if you're actually doing it for an audition or you're doing it for a role that you have. So you're doing all the detective work, you're asking all the right questions. Where are you? Who kind of are you? What are you working on? What do you want from the other person? And do all the right questions to kind of get yourself into that scene. And just practice the scene as if you would if you were genuinely doing it. And there's a lot that you can get from this. When you are working on the text and doing all the detective work, there are a lot of clues about who you are and what kind of person you are in there. You can use your imagination, of course, to kind of fill in the gaps and fill in the blanks, but generally there's a lot of things that you can get from the script. Are your sentences short and snappy? Are they witty? Are they kind of really serious? Are they big long spiels? And that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of person this is. And also when you look at the words and the sentences of the other person, the replies, the responses they give, the questions they ask, it kind of gives you an idea of how you're going to play your line and maybe how you've already played your line to make them react that way, to make them respond in such a way. So when you're working on scenes in your own time and doing this detective work and just looking at the script and kind of figuring out who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing this, that gives you a lot of practice into getting into the script and getting into the character and making it your own. And the great thing about doing things like this when you're not actually working on a project and you're just sort of doing it on your own time for fun is when you get through loads of different scenes, when you do finally get one for an audition, when you do get one for a role that you have, you're used to doing the detective work on that script. You've already got your approach down. You're so used to it that when you get one for an audition, you can just go straight into it, ask the questions, do the detective work, get right into it, and you kind of don't have to be at a loss that when you get it like, oh, how am I going to go about doing this or anything like that. You're not slow. The thing is all about giving yourself that practice. So when you do get it, like I said, you're able to go right deep into it. Another way you can work on your craft is by working on a monologue a week. Now I don't mean learning a whole brand new monologue every single week. You don't have to learn it by heart. The idea is just to do a monologue a week to kind of get yourself through lots of different characters, lots of different ranges, lots of different types of kind of people, and maybe comedic ones, maybe serious ones, maybe like really dramatic ones or scary ones or whatever kind of ones they are, just to kind of get yourself the practice of doing them. Again, asking all the right questions, breaking the monologue down into intentions, working on it. Who are you? What do you want? What is the script? What is the monologue saying about you that you can get from it to build your character? And just getting used to working on it. The great thing about doing monologues is, even though you may not get a lot of auditions which want you to do a monologue, just come in with a monologue, where I think a lot of them still kind of do, the good thing is that it lets you go through many different monologues. So if you do need to choose a monologue, you've already been through so many that you can do. And again, even just doing the detective work, even just doing all the script work and just going through it and exposing yourself into the different kind of characters and being different people and doing different comedic ones and serious ones, just gets you into that kind of practice of doing things so that when you do get an audition, you do get a role, you're able to quite quickly again delve right into it, make the character your own, and just kind of do all the detective work, and you've got it down as well. Another thing you can do to work on your craft is practicing your cold reading. A great way I was recommended in one of my classes was to practice your cold reading is to read things like Charles Dickens or read things like broadsheet newspapers and just read them, pick any page, pick any article and just start reading. And the idea is to kind of read it and try to pick up the next few words, pick up what's on the next line as you do it. And as you keep practicing this, as you keep doing this, you'll get better and better and better at reading effortlessly with less mistakes, and also being used to and training yourself to look at the words ahead, look at the next line, so that you're able to kind of look up off the page and deliver your cold read, and then also glance back and then glance back up again. And by doing that and practicing it, you get better and better and better and better at it. And I've tried doing that as well, and again, one of the reasons it's great to do it for example, Charles Dickens or a broadsheet newspaper is the practice that you get in doing it. There's a lot of dialogue in Charles Dickens, in newspaper articles. It can be completely different tones, and it kind of gets you to kind of just instinctively read it, instinctively read the article, and the kind of tone of voice that you do, the way you kind of, the kind of maybe how your character is if you're reading a Charles Dickens and you've got dialogue in there, the pitch of your voice, the tone of your voice, how fast you are pacing it, and the kind of formality of it or the not so formal of it, or how you're saying it. All that kind of practice is great, because when you finally get to doing an actual cold read for an audition, you're able to then instinctively just kind of, you're more used to instinctively coming out with your first choices, your first instincts of how you're going to read that, how you're going to say it, the tone of voice, the kind of way you're saying it, and the pitch of your voice, and all that kind of thing can come out more naturally. So if you are practicing your cold read, reading Charles Dickens and just any kind of page, or even like a newspaper article, and if you do that daily and trying to look out for the next words ahead, trust me, honestly, it really, really, really does help. I've known other people who have done this as well, and they've said how much it's helped them, and I think it's a great way as well, so that when you do get an audition, you're sort of used to kind of reading new texts with minimal mistakes. You've already got it down in terms of ready for the next line, looking at the words ahead, and still being able to talk to the camera, the other person. Another way that you can work on your craft is by practicing private moments. I think I mentioned this vaguely and briefly inside one of my previous videos, but the idea is to, once you have a character, once you have the kind of person you are, or you're trying to develop that more, having a private moment, whether it be inside your apartment, for example, you're making a cup of tea, or just doing any kind of daily task that you do, whether it be washing the dishes or cleaning the house or anything that you do that in the character of the kind of person that you want to do. Or if you're going outside doing your grocery shopping, or you're going outside for a walk, where you're using the physicality and you're using the movements to kind of get yourself into the thought process of that character. And this is really great, because when you're trying to work on a character, or you're developing a character, some of the ways that you can do, and one of the easiest ways, is to work from the body movement and body language first. So for example, if you're doing a private moment and maybe your character is supposed to be timid and shy, or maybe it's supposed to be arrogant and really out there with a big personality, like a massive extrovert, or maybe they're supposed to be a panicky kind of person, a panicky kind of state, when you're walking around that room in that kind of arrogant or kind of tough exterior, or if you're kind of walking around that kind of like slightly timid and shy kind of way, or if you're really nervous, or you're meant to be hysterical and start moving your hands around and running around the room, of course you're not going to do that when you actually have the audition or for the role. But trust me, bear with me on this one, when you're doing it in that room and you kind of get yourself inducing yourself in that kind of way, and then bring it down and then start working it, just doing what you normally are doing, your normal task. That physicality, that movement, that will start bringing into closer to the thought process of the character, and you'll find that your character is developing more, your thought process is developing more from the body language first. From that timid body language, it's kind of getting you into the character, the mind of the character. Same if you're the extrovert, or same if you're getting that panic kind of way. It's a great way to kind of lift your energy, lift your vibration, and kind of get yourself into the thought process of that character. Another way that you can work on your craft, which is a really great kind of fun way, is watching films, watching TV shows, watching your favourite shows and studying how they do it. Whether it be TV shows, whether it be films, or maybe your favourite actors in some of these films and you really admire how they've done it, watch it back, play it back, and kind of study and look at how they've done it. A lot of Hollywood actors, a lot of other actors as well, who maybe when they've tried to work on things as well, they've kind of said how they've learned so much more by watching. And even other actors who maybe didn't have that kind of formal training or whatnot, a lot of them have learned or started learning by just watching, because that's where they got it from. They just watch their favourite actors on the TV shows and the films, and they always wanted to be like that and try that. And you can try to kind of embody those and kind of not copy. You don't want to copy what they're doing on screen, but you kind of want to use the kind of character they are, serious, comedic, wherever it is, or the kind of body language they're doing, the kind of person they're portraying, and use that to kind of maybe use in your own kind of work. If you feel there's a certain type of character, a certain type of role that you need to stretch yourself and work on more, try to find those kind of roles in films where an actor is playing that character that you want to work on, see how they're doing it, watch it back and play it back and see how their body language is, the way they talk, do they talk fast, do they talk slow, their body language, their movement, how they carry themselves. Just study that and watch that, and you can take those tips, you can take those ways that they use, and you can put that into your kind of project, your work, your role when you do it as well. It's a great way to learn, a great way to do it. And one thing that comes to my mind right now is one of my acting classes that I went to, the acting coach really pointed out quite nicely as well how in Shakespeare's day, when they didn't have all the screen, they didn't have all the scripts, they don't have all the paper, it wasn't an intellectual process of working through the text and going through it and trying to work it out that way and speaking about it. They didn't really have table reads in that sense. They all did it by speaking and watching and doing it. So they would get on stage and they would start doing the Shakespeare one with their lines, and then they would get direction from the director. And then as the early production started developing, those then began being incorporated to stage directions. So later productions would say like, oh, this is when this happens, or that's when that, the stage directions like that. But not that the stage directions were initially meant to be like that set in stone. It's more like when they started developing, they got into the character of doing it. They were doing the scenes, they were working on it in that way, learning from it in that way, getting directed, and early production started developing that way, and then those stage directions got incorporated into it. And again, the reason I bring that is, it's all about actively, practically doing it, watching other people doing it, and then you doing it yourself. Not only just doing it in an intellectual process where you're studying our script or studying our monologue and just only doing it intellectually. Yes, like I've said before as well, great ways to work on it is by working through monologues, working through scenes and doing all the detective work for it, but the whole point is to then do that and to practically sort of manifest that and get up off your feet and just do it. Observing people is another way that you can work in your craft when you're not actively inside working on a role or a project or an audition. And I've already made a video on observing people, and I hope you've already given it a try. And if you haven't already watched that, just scroll down somewhere, it'll be somewhere, just watch that video. It's a great way to kind of work on your craft when you're just out and about doing your daily business and you're not really kind of working on it like specifically or working on a certain thing, just something that you can do casually when you're out and about. So definitely give that a try as well. There's a lot that can be learned from that and observing people. Another exercise that you can try when you're working on your craft is a great technique that was given by one of my acting teachers in one of the studios that I was in, and that is when you're trying to access your emotions. For example, just allowing yourself to feel that part of you that is angry, or allowing yourself to feel that part of you that is scared, or allowing yourself to feel that part of you which is happy, or allowing yourself to experience that part of you which is sad and just really, you know, maybe sad, or allowing yourself to experience that part of you which is stressed, or allowing yourself to experience that part of you which is just any kind of emotion. And when you are doing that, and you can maybe say a line like, you know, I need you, or just saying thank you, or saying a line or saying a word in that, when you're allowing yourself to feel those different emotions. And as you keep doing that, you'll realize that you're able to access your emotions that much more quicker when you need them for a scene or for a role, without having to do so much legwork in terms of, you know, find an experience when you were like this or that you can relate to that's like this. This technique allows you to kind of access those emotions and bring them to the forefront in a really quick way, because we are a wellspring of emotions. We have a range of experiences within those. We are like walking encyclopedias of experiences, and we have a bank full of all these experiences. And sometimes you don't have to do a whole lot of work to kind of bring those out and bring a certain emotion to the forefront. This technique, this exercise that was given in a studio is, I think it's incredible. I've tried it several times, and even when we've done the walkthroughs in class, the way it allows you to experience and bring up an emotion to the forefront without having to relive something that's really, you know, going back into the past in such a deep kind of way, it allows you to access it in such a great way. And what the acting coach said was, you can do this when you're waiting for, you know, you're waiting for your coffee at a Starbucks line, or you're waiting to pay for something and you're in a shopping centre or a supermarket, or you're at a retail store. It may look a little creepy and it might feel a little weird doing it as well, so maybe you don't want to do it when there's so many people around you. But the great thing about the technique is you can do it anywhere. You can even do it like maybe you've got 5 minutes having a cup of tea, just close your eyes and do it when you're at home, or you're waiting waiting for that coffee, just do it over there as well. And again, just allowing yourself to experience that part of you, allowing yourself to experience that part which is, you know, happy, which is sad, which is angry, which is scared, which is frightened, and just allowing yourself to kind of feel that way, and then maybe saying a line, and you'll be surprised how quickly you're able to access these emotions and how easy it can become, and with practice it becomes easier. So that's definitely a great way to work on your craft and accessing emotions as well. So these are just some of the ways that you can work on your craft when you're not involved in a role in a project, or you've not got an audition, or maybe you're taking a break in between classes and you want to still work on your craft and you still want to keep yourself active so that when something comes along you're ready for it. These are just some of the ways. Again, they're not ways that I myself am just saying, oh, this is what I think you should do. It's things that I've got ideas from different acting classes and studios that I've been to, and also just talking to some of my actor friends as well, the kind of things that they do. So I kind of hope this has given you a couple of ideas of how you can keep yourself active in acting when you're not working on any project. Again, you can work on one thing more than another. Maybe you don't have time to do everything, or maybe you can choose 1 or 2 things or 3 things that you're going to work on every day or every week, and you're going to do that, and even that will help so much. So thanks for joining me again for watching this video, and I hope it's given you a couple of ideas of things that you can do. And again, I really appreciate you watching my videos and joining me each week and joining me each time to watch my videos and seeing what I have to say. And also, do feel free to leave your thoughts and leave your tips in the comment as well, or just general comments as well, the kind of things that you do when you're working on your craft. Do you use any of these, or are there other things that you kind of work on that you think would be great for other people, even myself, to kind of work on as well? So definitely leave those in the comments below as well, just to let me know the kind of things that you're doing, you're working on, or that you choose to do when you're in between projects as well. That can kind of help us out as well. And again, thank you so much for watching. Do remember to share this video with other people that you might think might find it useful, or maybe just want to watch it anyway. And also just like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And yeah, join me next week for another video. I'm being Micah, and you be you.